Who would like to tell me what they and or their partners came up with? Sam, big surprise. What you got? Is it his guess, girls? Did you do nothing?
We did.
We did. I was just thinking.
Well, then you maybe should say this is our guess and not be so selfish.
That's what I meant. Okay, sure. So we did G equals ground speed.
So we had G equals our ground speed. Okay.
And then this next one. Okay, we did T equals tailwind.
T equals tailwind. All right. Please don't write this down yet. I don't know if it's right or not.
H equals headwind.
H equals headwind. Okay.
And then A equals airspeed.
And A equals airspeed. Okay.
And then we did G equals A, which is the speed. And then minus H because headwind pushes back. And then plus T because tailwind.
Are we happy with that? Does anybody have something different? I'm not going to erase it unless somebody comes up with something else, because the whole point of this was you guys were supposed to come up with it. I know what the answer is. Does anybody have something different? All of you wrote that exact same thing? That's amazing! What are the chances? That's better. What do you got?
Okay, so I know that from previous math examples, I know that airspeed equals ground minus airspeed equals ground minus the headwind speed. So basing off of that formula, I did a minus which is airspeed minus s, which means headwind equals g.
So your only difference is you said headwind was S. So that's the only difference you had. So you had the exact same thing with a different letter.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Okay! Thank you, Leighton. Anybody else? Michael Schumacher, hit me.
I wrote G is equal to A plus W. W is representing this.
Okay. The W being a wind, either positive or negative. So, all right. So you have ground speed equals airspeed plus W. Right? Okay. Anybody got something else? Y'all got those exact two things. Thank you, Carlin.
Doesn't headwind or tailwind, like, it says or, so couldn't it be the same thing? Speed. It says the speed of the headwind or tailwind.
Yeah.
Make it the same thing as the headwind and the tailwind. No, but I thought it would be the same thing because it says headwind or tailwind.
Mm-hmm.
So
They're the same? Well, I'm asking you guys. You were supposed to figure this question out. If you didn't know the words, you were supposed to figure it out between the two of yous, or the three of yous, or the four of yous, or the six of yous. Or is a headwind and a tailwind the same? Where's your head? Where's your tail? So is a headwind and the tailwind the same thing? It is if your head's in your butt, I guess. Many, 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 many times it is. Not really. So, are we happy with either of these? Is either one okay? Is either one of these okay? Well, all 30 of you came up with that and that. Apparently nobody else has anything different. So one of those is right, both of them are right, or neither one of them is right. So since all 30 of you came up with one of these two, because nobody has something different, you can now tell me if you think one of them is right. Are both of them right? We're all okay with saying both of them are not right. So you can all say that, no, they can't both be right, but we don't know which one is right. That's what you're all saying? It's not a hard choice.
It's right.
Which is right?
Mine's right.
Yours is right. Why?
Because we did it.
I see.
Okay, no, it's right because there's headwind or tailwind and there should be two different expressions because there's two different variables depending on the situation.
Okay, so Sam says he's got to use this one because one is a headwind, one is a tailwind. Right?
Yeah.
Everyone agrees?
Yeah.
We're happy with Sam? And Hallie? Angerpinder?
I want to start.
You got more to say?
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
But A plus W is wrong because headwind and tailwind are different, so W would just be wind in general. So headwind and tailwind.
Okay. So
I think.
I think that you have some valid points. I think that Michael could refine his with a change of one symbol out of those 5 to make Michael's perfectly right. Or, what is it, Sam?
You're giving it inequality.
Nope.
Aww.
I love it when I get into this unit. Because all of a sudden, all my pre-diploma kids, oh, math's so easy. Now that you actually have to use it. Times wind. So the wind blowing a kite up there, you're multiplying the force against the kite. What, Carlin? Okay, so does that cover both?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Because what's this one?
Because that one's headwind. I mean, that one's a tailwind.
That one's a tailwind. Why?
Because tailwind pushes forward.
Tailwind adds to your speed by pushing you from the butt.
Yeah.
What's this one?
That one's headwind because it pushes you from the front and pushes back.
Because it's pushing you from the front.
Yeah. Good.
Are both of these okay now?
Yes.
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 Good job to all 30 of you. Well, good job to the 5 of you that gave me something to work with. All right, is everybody happy?
Yeah.
Now, notice what I have changed slightly in the second one. What have I done here to change it?
2 equations.
2 equations. Okay? So you need 2 equations based on the information. Yes, Michael? Yeah, you haven't received any information from me, have you? All right? Okay, is everybody ready for the information?
Yes.
All right. Now you have information. How are you going to write some equations? You all agreed that you were happy with either of those two examples up top.
Yeah.
So use them to write me some equations. Sam, what is an equation you could write there?
I have 4.
Oh, give me one of them.
G equals 450 kilometers
Minus H. That would cover a headwind, yes? How else could we write that?
G,
Sure, go ahead.
G equals 450 minus W.
Minus W. Those are both acceptable, yes? Okay, what's the other one going to be? Taylor?
Okay, I have G equals 450 plus T because that was coming together.
Okay, or 450 plus W, depending on how the questions are written, yes? All right, now, take those 4, because those are right. Turn the page over and answer those 7 questions.
The airspeed is still 450, right?
Yes. Plus W is a tailwind. Minus W is a headwind. Why did I write it this way? Why did I use W? Because how are the questions written? Headwind or tailwind?
Yeah.
So just the wind. A headwind is in front of you, tailwind's coming from behind you, so you do plus or minus. So A and B are super easy, aren't they? What are they?
It's G equals 450 minus W or minus 80,
Which is?
and then 370 hours.
And what's the other one?
It's G equals 450 plus W or plus 120,
Which is?
which is 570. 570, 25.
All right. Everybody can do that, yeah? Okay, let's do the second one. What stays the same in the second one? The equation. G equals 450. Now, are we going to use plus or minus in number 2?
Minus
Why?
The headwind.
Headwind. Minus W. Now, what do we know?
you know the ground speed, so you plug in the ground speed.
Where does ground speed plug in?
Both the G.
For G.
70.
390 equals 450 minus W. So solve it. And then do the next up to 7. I'm going to pause the recording because there's no need to record you guys thinking. So what did we need to do in order to use these expressions? So back on the very first page, when 5 of you did what I asked you to do, what did you need to do in order to work with this information? You needed to. You had to figure out what the terms meant in English, like what you're trying to find. Okay, what else?
You need to understand what requires us to do.
Okay, what else? You had to decide on some variables. What else?
And we had to create our base expression.
Okay.
For the expression.
All right.
And then we needed information, which is all.
All right. So, if you needed to do all that stuff, what you're looking for, set up some variables, solve the variables, plug in the information. If you had to do that for this question, what are you going to do for every question? Same thing. So turn your page over. Oh, look, there's some equations. The ones that we already used that aren't erasing. What a pain. While I'm trying to make these erase, stuff disappears off my screen all the time, except when I want it to, apparently. Okay. So, word problems are silly in that they're artificial, right? Math guys write them just to, make you think. And that's really all they are. They're mental gymnastics. But when you think about it, word problems are indeed exactly what you have to do in life, right? They're just not written that way. You got to figure out how much money you need to do this, or how much money you need to do that, or how much time it's going to take to do this, or like all that is word problems. Yeah? So let's start with a nice easy one. Read the question. 16 gig phone costs $75 more than 8 gig phone. Together they cost $725. How much is each? How are you going to figure that out? Well, step one, as Sam said and Leighton said, they both said the same thing. What do I know? What am I asked to find? Those are two separate questions, right? What do you know? Carlin, give me one thing you know after reading that question.
A 16 gigabyte phone costs $75 more than 8 gigabyte.
Right. That's actually two things you told me. You know there's how many phones involved? 2. There's the 8 gig phone and the 16 gig phone. You know that, right?
Yeah.
What else do you know? Taylor.
That together both phones cost $725.
So you also know that the 8 gig phone plus the 16 gig phone equals $725. That's what you know, yes? Do you know anything else?
You're asked to find how much.
I think you know one more thing. Sophia. The 16 gig phone is more expensive, yes? Right? Okay. So that's the other thing we know. We also know the 8 gig phone, the 16 gig phone is $75 more. Those are all things we know, yes? All right. Now, where in all that stuff that we know is there math happening? Sam.
Between the 8 gig and 16 gig.
Here's some math. There's some addition. Where is that addition? In the costs. I shouldn't have written costs. In the combined costs. Is there any other math happening? Sam again. Where is there subtraction?
Trying to figure out, or when you're subtracting the 75 from 7.5.
I like that you said subtraction. I'm having trouble with your reason behind it. So keep it in your head. Jack? Division, where?
When you got to figure out what the individual place the two phones is, if
What are you going to divide?
Well, kind of works with Carlin's idea.
Yeah. Okay. How?
Okay, so on mine, I'm gonna subtract 75 from 725,
Mm-hmm.
get 650,
Yeah.
and then divide by 2 to get 325, so I got the base of each phone, and I added 75 to 1, so then I get a base of each.
So you had 75 to 1. So
You get
400 and 325. Is that okay? Is that okay, everyone? Does that satisfy the rules? Sure it does. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to borrow from Jack. He's doing some division. He took the 725, divided it into 2 phones, and then added 75. Right? I was looking for, when Carlin said subtraction, isn't the 16 gig phone, that's 1 GB I just wrote, isn't the 16 gig phone minus 75 the 8 gig phone?
Yeah.
Right? So without even actually doing any math, we've got a bunch of math that we know we can do, don't we? Now, do we have any equations? Algebraic expressions. Do we? What? No, what do I need to have an algebraic expression? Some variables. Have we given any variables to anything? No. So let's do some variables. What are the 2 things we're counting? There's an 8 gig phone. What variable do you want to give it? P for phone. Okay, that's not going to be very useful because the other thing's a phone too, but okay. Okay, and our 16 gig phone equals C. Now we got some variables. Now can we write some equations? Okay, how do we take what we decided on and put it into equations? What do we know? C plus P is what? 725. What else do we know? P plus 75 equals C. Are we cool with that? Yeah? Or C minus 75 equals P, yeah?
725 minus P equals C.
We also have 725 minus P equals C. 725 minus C equals P. What else do we know? 725 2 plus 75 equals, that's the more expensive one. So that equals C. And what else do we know? Divided by 2 minus 75
Equals P.
does it?
No, it doesn't.
Ah, I almost got you.
No.
725 divided by 2 equals just P, right? Because it's a cheap one. Look at how much math that you know to do that question. Will any one of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 equations work? Any one of them could solve this for us, yes? Really? What do I need, Josiah? You need 2 equations? Right. You can't use that. Why? I have 2 unknowns. Right? Can I use that? 2 unknowns. Can I use that? Can I use that? Can I use that? Can I use that? Yes. Can I use that? Yes. Why? They only have one variable, right? Or do they?
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. Have a look at this situation. C plus P equals 725, yes? C equals P plus 75, right?
Yeah.
What does this say? Read that to me in English. C equals P plus 75, right?
Yeah.
What letter is that?
C.
So what can I put there?
Minus C plus 75.
P plus 75 plus P equals 725. Now can I do it?
Yeah.
So even though I had two variables, was I still able to solve it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because P plus 75 is basically C.
Because you put the information in the terms of one variable.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Now Jack has already told us it's 320 or 350 and 425, right? Right?
Yeah.
Well, let's check. What would this be? 2p plus 75 would equal 725, right? Solve that. Minus 75,
Equals 650.
2p
Yes.
equals 650. Divide by 2, p equals 325.
Yeah.
Hola.
But then C is equal to 325 plus.
Then we already know that C is P plus 75.
325 plus.
C equals P plus 75. P equals 325. So C equals 325 plus 75, which is 400. And our last step is check the equation, which we just did. Look at how much math you know. Now, guys, I know you don't see it right now, but this is called systems of equations. And this is very, very powerful math. This allows you to find buckets of information out of many situations. This ability to set up equations and talk about them in terms of each other. Okay? Now, the reason I do this way with an honors class like yourselves is because the vast majority of the time I sit in front of a class, they look at this, they're like, I have no idea. You guys came up with 7 all by yourselves without me saying a word. That's why I let you guys run this class. Today, the next couple of days, it's going to get slightly more difficult, but that's all right. Let's look at the next one. Yours should be on the next page. Mine didn't print as well. My example 2 are the sides of a triangle are 3 consecutive whole numbers. The perimeter is 48. How long is each side? So, again, what do I know? What do I know?
All 3 sides of the triangle.
Taylor, you don't talk very much. There are 3 consecutive whole numbers. So, do you know that first number? No. So, what are we going to give it? X. Okay. So, number 1 equals X. What's number 2?
X plus 1.
Why?
Because it's a consecutive number.
Because it's the same number, one more. What's the next one?
X plus 2.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Why? What makes that okay? Josiah, why are we happy with that? Because you're the one that pointed that out in the first time. What makes this okay? Pardon me? There's only one unknown, right? Could we also do A, B, C. 3 separate variables. We can, can't we? We'll come back to that in a minute. What else do I know? Amsham.
That they're consecutive numbers, so that.
Well, we've already covered that right here. Oh, that's not plus 3. Sorry, that's plus 2.
N1 plus N2.
They add up to 48. So N1 plus N2 plus N3 equals 48. Right? Or if we go in this way, A plus B plus C equals 48. Everybody still cool?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to turn the slide down here. What math is happening? Adding, right? So we know that we have addition. Oh, I'm writing in red again, but that's okay. I know I have addition of 3 sides. And it doesn't matter which one we use because we know it's addition, yes?
Yep.
All right. Now, if we use Josiah's one unknown method, then what is our equation? You guys have it written down on the same page. The black is Josiah's, the one unknown. So what would it be? N1 plus N2 plus N3 equals 48. So what do we have? X plus X plus 1 plus X plus 2 equals 48. That's ugly, right?
Yeah.
What would it make it prettier?
No.
Not even brackets. Collect like terms. How many X's we got there?
X plus 3 is equal to 48. Minus 3 minus 3, 3x.
Right?
Yeah.
Minus 3 minus 3. 3x equals 45. X equals 15, which I should have done all that down here. Solve the equation. Right? Now, can we do this with the red one? A plus B plus C equals 48.
If you want to check.
Taylor.
No, because they're all different terms.
They are indeed all different terms.
Couldn't add it.
I couldn't add the terms, could I? Right? I can't do that one because I don't have enough information, do I? I can monkey around with it like we monkeyed around with the first one, can't we? Couldn't I say that C equals 48 minus A minus B?
Oh.
Is that okay? Is that cool? Which would then give me A plus B plus what? C, but C equals this. So what would that be? Plus 48 minus A minus B. Now what happens there? A minus B. What happens? What's A minus A? 0. What's B minus B? 0. So I'm left with 48 here, right? And what was left on the other side? 48. Does 48 equal 48? Yeah. Did it tell us anything? No. So, are we always able to do this? No. We were able to do it with the last question, weren't we? So what we did last question worked that time doing with more than one unknown, didn't it?
Yep.
But it didn't work every time. What did work every time?
One unknown.
Having everything in terms of one unknown.
Yep.
Which unknown did we use here? Did we use the biggest or the smallest or the middle one? And would it have mattered? No. Because could we rewrite this in any other way? What if I made this x? Then what would number 2 be? X minus 1. And what would number 1 be? X minus 2. What if I made number 2 x? What would this be? X minus 1, what would this be? No, X plus 1. Because I made the middle number X.
Sorry, my bad.
And it's all the same thing, isn't it?
Yep.
Right? Everybody cool?
Yeah.
Great. So what are the numbers? We only found X. What are the numbers?
So we know that N1 equals
X equals 15. What's the next one?
the X equals
16 times X plus 2 equals 17.
So how do we check it?
we add them.
15, 16, 17. 8, carry the 1, 48. Brilliant! Is everybody good?
Great.
Okay. Uh-oh. Decimals. Blech.
Yay.
What do we know?
Jar contains.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. One at a time. Jack, what do we know?
Well, there's a jar that has $27.05 made of dimes and quarters.
Okay, so we got dimes, right?
Yes.
We got quarters,
Yes.
and we got what else? We know that dimes plus quarters equals what?
Equals 146.
146 coins, yes?
Yes.
What else do we know?
G plus P equals 27.
No. Because a single dime is not worth. Taylor.
And all the 146 coins have a value of 27.
Yeah. We know there's a value of 27.05, yes? What's the value of a dime? 10 cents, 10D, plus what? So I have number, but when there's money involved, I also have value. What's the value of a quarter? 25Q equals what? This is a trick. This always messes kids up. What does it equal?
No, it has to be.
You're absolutely right, Michael.
It has to be in cents.
I either have to have point 10 point and 27.05 or
10 plus that.
10 sorry, 10D plus 25Q equals what?
0.2 cents.
No, not 0 point, other way.
Oh, yeah, the other
27.05, right?
Yeah.
Now, which one works? Can I use the 2 unknown method? Can I use the 1 unknown method? Can I use either? I can use either?
No, you got no. You have to use
I've written it in such a way to railroad you into a choice, haven't I?
Oh no, it's a dime and quarter, so you have to use the cents. Like it's in cents. Like in cents. No. Like
Which one do I use? I've forced you guys into a choice here.
red one.
Think back to the way we were writing before. We had the red way, which was more than 1 unknown, and the black way, which was 1 unknown. We know the black way will always work, but I haven't written that way, have I? This is the way that made sense to you guys, isn't it? Made sense.
Oh, there you go.
Get it?
Wait.
I totally did that by accident.
Okay.
But seriously, folks, this is the way you guys want to write this, isn't it? Right? Because you dimes and quarters. Okay, I know what a dime and a quarter is. I'm going to have D's and Q's. Can I do that? Well, let's check. What math is happening? Well, in both cases, it's adding, yes?
Yep.
So, D plus Q equals 146, yes? And 10D plus 25Q equals 2,705, yes?
Yep.
Why can't we solve that? Josiah has told us already. Right there as it stands, we can't solve it. Why? Too many unknowns, right?
Yeah.
Except we don't have too many unknowns, do we?
No.
Because don't we know what Q or D is?
Yeah.
What is Q? No, Q is 146 minus D, isn't it? Now, I know Q. Can I get rid of that Q?
No, you put it,
Q is this. So what can I do with that expression?
Yeah,
oh, D plus 146 minus.
There you go. I can put it in for Q, can't I?
Yes,
Which would give me what?
10
10D,
plus
25, bracket,
10, for 146
146 minus D.
equals 2705.
Now, do we only have one unknown?
Yeah.
Yes,
So could we solve it?
yes.
Absolutely.
So 10D plus.
So just wait a sec. I'm going to ask you to solve it in a minute. Is everyone cool with that? Mr. Myers, you're being mean to us. You just told us that the two unknown way doesn't always work, and then you made us use the two unknown way. Why? Yes? Why would you do that to us? You're mean. Did we have to use the two unknown way? Could I also have done this? Right at the very beginning, could I say D equals dimes? And then right at the very beginning, wouldn't Q have equaled 146 minus the dimes? And then I never had two unknowns, did I? So both ways would have worked. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Now let's solve it. We have our equation right here. Right? Because we substituted. So now let's solve it. Oh, that's a big messy equation, but we can do it. What do I do first? You guys can all solve this at your own pace, but what should I do first? I should expand and get rid of brackets, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
So, are you able to do that in your head?
No.
You can do 25 times 146 in your head, Anish? No. So what are we going to get out? What is it? 3,600. Exactly? Minus 25D, right? Equals 2,705. Now what?
You gather like terms to negative 15.
Negative 15D
Plus 3,600.
plus 3,600 equals 2,705. Now what?
What is it then?
3,650. Okay.
Yeah.
Stay cool. Just, I misheard him. Now what?
Then you do minus 3,650 minus 3,000.
Minus 3,650 minus 3,650.
Then
Negative 15D equals
equals to then
345 negative.
negative. And then
Divide by,
Negative.
divide by negative.
and D equals
D is equal to the 29.
29. Right? So now what do we know?
Now that
23.
There's
It's 23. It's 23 dimes.
Oh shoot, my bad.
Dimes, we know, equal D, which equals 23. Right? Quarters, we know, equaled 146 minus D. 146 minus 23.
Is equal to 123.
Right?
Yeah.
So now we know the numbers. Do we know if we're right? 23 times 10 is
Oh, 230.
$2.30. And 123 times 4?
4 is $404.92. No, that's wrong. Don't do that.
123 times 4. Why did I say it's times 4?
No, why did you say that?
Because it's quarters, 4 quarters in a dollar, because that's what kids do. What is it really?
It's 1.123 times 1.25.
It's 123 times 25, and then 2 decimal places. So what is it?
Where I got this.
30.3.
$30.75.
123 times what? 25?
123 times 25.
1.25.
No.
$3.75.
$30.75.
Told you, man.
What? How can that be 3205? What'd we do that was wrong?
Oh, it's already one. Wait, no.
How many people were perfectly happy to have stopped right there without checking? All of you put your hands up. Except Justin. Except Justin.
We spent the next 12 hours working on it.
What's the problem, Amy?
I think I did wrong, like in subtraction.
Amy knows. You got to figure it out. The bell's about to ring. Your homework tonight is easy peasy. You got to do example 4. That's it. And figure out what you guys did wrong in example 3. That's your homework.